Live, and I'm Kaylee. Welcome to my channel, and I got the wonderful Ajana Claire from Zoel's World here today with her beautiful ears. And I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I actually put the link to your channel in my description this time. So kudos to me. I did. Usually what ends up happening is I am like, oh, who's coming on? And then I just don't ever get a chance to do it because I'm just so disorganized, unfortunately. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. So anyways, today's episode is going to be talking about the latest episode and the next to last episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is absolutely crazy. I cannot believe the series is only 6 episodes. Like that's
no way. I feel like there's so much still happening that I don't know how they're going to wrap it up in like one episode. There's going to be, there's going to have to be a second season with like a major cliffhanger at the end of the first. Like there's just, if they try to resolve everything that's still open right now in the next episode, it's not going to be a satisfying episode.
Yeah.
It's just that needs to happen in an hour. Like it would need to be like a 3-hour episode in order for them to resolve everything.
Yeah, which I mean, I felt like they fit so many storylines into this. Like, oh my gosh, it was insane. Because I thought there was going to be more like Walker, what happened from the aftermath of that. Like, I thought that was going to be a big portion, like them against, Bucky and Sam. I thought, that was going to probably be a big portion of the episode, but it really kind of wasn't because we're hitting everything in this episode. There was so much going on. My brain was like, oh my gosh, like we're just going everywhere. We saw Sharon again this episode. She was thrown in there for a little scene. Carly, we had Walker and his family. Oh, Connor's the first comment.
Hey, Connor.
Hey, Connor. Not trying to brag. It's okay. That's good bragging rights. You're the first commenter. Oh, I want to say too, just to mention out, last week on my live, I announced my giveaway winner, which I was excited about. I put it on Instagram. They did not reach out to me, which is, unfortunate. And then today before I was like, oh, I'm going to just do it on Instagram. Cause last week I almost forgot. And I knew this week with all this going on, I'm like, I know me, I'm going to forget to do it on YouTube. So I did it on Instagram, and guess who won the giveaway, guys? It was Tim and Katie. Well, really, Tim entered the Tim and Katie. It wasn't Katie can't put herself in there, but it was really Tim. So congratulations to Tim for winning that awesome WandaVision Funko Pop. So I'll be sending that out to him.
That everybody in America wanted.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. Literally like 260 something entries. Like people were obsessed over this thing, which I was like, I really kind of wanted to keep both, which is so crazy because I was like, why do I want both? Like I already have one, but it's just because he's so darn cute. I didn't want to get rid of him. But Tim, I know, will take great care of them. But anyways, okay, guys, getting into the actual episode here. Yeah. This was a crazy episode, like we were saying. Super crazy. I was gonna try to go in order. My notes are just not as organized, I guess, as I want.
I mean, just even from the start, I can see definitely compared to like the last series of like WandaVision. Like I do think they are trying to do a better job of like reincorporating the earlier episodes that you think are like forgotten storylines, but they are bringing them back in. Like I think, not to jump the gun too much, because this is like towards the end of the episode, but I definitely think they're going to bring back in the old guy that Bucky was in the bar with at the beginning, based on the conversation that he and Sam had about him like actually doing the work and not just like, avenging, the wrongs, but actually making true amends. So we hadn't seen that guy in like 4 episodes. So, and we didn't see him in this episode, but it definitely reminded me like, oh yeah, there is somebody that it would make sense for him to do that with. So I would be curious to see if Bucky actually has that conversation in the next episode. But this just started like, it started crazy. Like the fight between Bucky, Sam, and John Walker, like that was insane in the beginning.
That was super crazy. Like I loved that scene, you know, we had Sam asking him for the shield, which I liked that part. I like that part a lot, you know. Oh, okay, Connor, and I hope, Jean-Claire, did you watch the end scene? Like after the credits, did you catch the end scene?
The crazy part? Yes, I saw.
Yes,
I saw.
Okay, Connor said he'll be back. He did not catch the end scene, which I feel like is not like a huge like.
Really,
I mean, it was
like it
yeah,
really isn't. It's just it shows
not.
something that just shows how crazy this guy is and how relentless he is, and he's just not going to let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he said it in the episode. He was like, "I am Captain America." And I'm like, dude, after what you did, you are nobody's captain anything. Like,
yeah,
you're not Captain. Like,
it was, yeah,
like you're
craziness.
Like you just what you did, the way you did it, like that is so far away from what Captain America is supposed to represent.
Yeah,
and you have no remorse for it. Like you really are trying to justify your actions. Like I don't know. Like,
yeah. I mean, you know, I would say let's try to go in order. But I mean, I really think for this, you know, it's hard to go in order and not skip ahead. So like going by storylines, you know, go ahead and just starting out with Walker's storyline during this, you know, he didn't have a whole bunch, you know, honestly, which is kind of shocking. I guess he's going to come back in a lot in our last episode, but you know, we had that fight in the beginning. I loved that shield fight. I thought that was a really good way to start the episode. I put on here a note, which this is me not knowing, you know, I thought that would be about the only time we get to see Bucky even holding the shield at all. So I enjoyed that moment. You know, he had it for a little moment and I was like, oh, okay. Cause we know Sam's getting the shield. And I was like, oh, Bucky's got his little moment where he has the shield. And so probably the only moment we're going to get to see him.
I know in that moment I was wondering, like, is he going to keep the shield? And then when he took it, like when he threw it at Sam, it was almost like him saying, like, this, you know, like I wouldn't have had to do this if you kept it in the first place. Here, take it.
yeah. No, I loved him like throwing it down. Like, here you go, take the thing back. But you know, I not to skip around too much. I know we said we were going to talk about Walker, but kind of since we're talking about the shield scene, I loved the shield scene towards the end with Bucky and Sam, you know, when they're throwing it at the trees and getting it back. And they have that really nice moment where Bucky's like, you know, I really didn't understand why you felt like you couldn't take it. And I didn't understand why, like, you couldn't just fulfill this legacy that, you know, Steve wanted you to. And the really sweet thing, you know, he said, which, you know, him apologizing, I thought was great. And I was so happy he apologized and was like, you know, I've been trying to like shove this down your throat and been so mad about it. But he said this line, I wrote it down, that shield's the closest thing I have left of a family. And he just, you know, and that's, you know, I think was a good line to kind of symbolize why I guess Bucky's been pushing Sam so much and kind of just not seeing what Sam's been saying this whole time, you know. But again, I'm so happy they decided to kind of put it in that like Bucky understands and Bucky's like, I get why you couldn't do it. But, you know, I think Sam also on the other hand understands Bucky and why Bucky was pushing so hard. Cause, you know, like Bucky said, it's all he really has left.
Oh my God.
Are you okay? What's going on?
Okay, I'm like I was the only person in my house. My husband wasn't here, and I'm like, I just heard a door close, and I'm like, what's going on? And then my son just walked in, and I was like, oh, okay. He scared the crap out of me because I wasn't expecting him.
I know. I was like, what is going on right now?
Like, if something happens, like I'm on live, like you guys go get it. We're good.
And Jean-Claire just gets murdered on the
But I don't know, but that actually, you know, that whole scene with Bucky and Sam like, at the end, that was a great scene. But honestly, and maybe I just missed it, I don't know what happened in this episode for Bucky to come to that particular realization. Like, it was a great realization. Like, it made sense, but it was like, he wasn't involved in the conversations with Isaiah. Like, I don't understand what transpired. Was it him helping working on the boat, or what happened during this episode for him to actually come to that? Like, I just felt like I was missing that piece. Like, I was happy he came to that realization, and that's a lot that we're gonna have to unpack too. But I just didn't really understand what actually happened for him to get there.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of thought of that as I was talking through that scene. I'm like, but you know what? I don't think we really saw how Bucky came to that conclusion. And no, it's not just you, because I did think that when I was talking about it. And I was thinking maybe like Bucky's just kind of, because we kind of see him kind of like wanting to work with Sam. You know, he comes and helps Sam on the boat. And maybe I think maybe he's like calming down a little bit and kind of processing, and maybe like he's realizing more, you know, I was pushing, and like Sam has been telling him all along, you know, you don't understand. And I think maybe it was just him taking a beat. But yeah, I think they maybe could have done a tiny bit better with that. But I also do, you know, kind of, I know we're jumping around everywhere, but just to kind of mention it about him going to see Isaiah. You know, first off, I wanted to say when I saw the Baltimore come back up, I knew Tim and Katie were going to be screaming, because they were like, especially Tim, I know, was like, oh, I can't wait to see him again. And so I was like, oh, Tim and Katie are going to love this. But that was such a good scene with like Isaiah and Sam. It was a very beautiful scene. It was hurtful and strong is the words I put. But I will say too about that scene, although I feel like Bucky, like we said, kind of jumped from like what he had been doing, like to not understanding and pushing Sam to like this, oh, you know, I understand, and I apologize for not giving you like understanding. I don't think Bucky would have done, I don't think it would have been good to put Bucky in that scene again with Isaiah. I think it was right the way they did it by just having Sam go and talk to him. So I thought that scene was really, really well done, and really powerful. And I don't think we've seen the last of Isaiah in the series. I feel like if we don't, by some miracle, see him next episode, I think we will. But if we don't, I definitely think in season 2, if we get a season 2, he'll play probably some sort of role going forward. Even if it's just, you know, I know he's presumed dead, we learn. And even if he's not one to come out of that, you know, maybe he'll change his mind in season 2, or maybe he'll just serve as kind of someone for Sam to go back and talk to and things like that. But I definitely hope that they keep him involved in the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the scene with him and Sam like really kind of brought up some heavy material that, you know, you can either take it as like, you can kind of gloss through that scene as just kind of like a part of the episode, or you can really unpack, because the thing, and I wrote it down here, so that's what I'm looking at, so I don't get it wrong.
Go ahead.
Isaiah says, they will never let a Black man be Captain America. And even if they did, no self-respecting Black man would want to be. There was so much in that line that it was like, there was so much to agree with and so much to disagree with and so much to agree with in the disagreement. Yeah.
It was a lot.
that one line right there, it was just like, you know, it's how he, you know, based on his experience, it's how he felt. But he's right in the sense that, you know, America isn't ready. You know, America just, I mean, we've had a Black president, but look at the issues that we're still facing in America. Like, it just, the country isn't necessarily ready to perceive a Black man as Captain America. And that was like really deep, to think that this is 2021 and that's still a valid perception to have. But then on the flip side, when he says like, no self-respecting Black man would want to be, I felt so much conflict in that line, because I mean, not being a Black man, but being a Black woman, you know, just kind of like, let's change it from man to woman. Like, in that scenario, would you want to be? And it's yes and it's no. Like, you can see why, you know, if you're a self-respecting Black man, you would want to take that role. But if you're a self-respecting Black man, you wouldn't want to take that role. So there was just so much conflict in that line. And to have Sam receive that line when he's already dealing with so much conflict in terms of accepting this role, you know, on the one hand, you can see him thinking like, yes, as a black man, like this would be crazy. Like I'm not in a place where I want to be somebody's pawn. You know, Captain America, you know, the way that they've been doing it in the series has been the government's pawn. You know, Steve Rogers was like, I'm nobody's pawn, but John Walker is. And he even says it in his trial. He's like, you made me, you created me. I've done everything you wanted me to do. So he's used to being in that role where somebody is pulling his strings and he's allowing it. Sam's not that person. Like, Sam's not going to, he's more of a Steve Rogers. He's not going to allow the government to dictate what he does, right or wrong. And so that internal conflict that he's already dealing with, I feel like that conversation with Isaiah didn't really help that. Like, it was like, wow, like, you know, do I, you know, I'm, you could see that I felt like at that point he was kind of leaning towards going there, which was kind of why he went back to Isaiah to kind of get some more perspective. And then he left feeling like, shh, what? Like, am I just do this? Like, am I really, what is happening?
Yeah.
Because on the other hand, it's like, he needs to step up. He is, regardless, like whether he's white, black, Asian, Puerto Rican, like he is, his character, his personality, who he is as Sam, as the Falcon, like he is what America needs in this time period. So it's kind of like, wow, like to be on both sides, like that is just, I don't know. We can go to the comments.
Yeah, which Tim has a comment that I've talked about before, and I want to get to that. But the one quick little comment, Jean-Claire, you of course had so much insight and said all that beautifully in a way that I could never understand or say. So I was so happy that you wanted to come on this episode because I thought that would be a great, you know, it was a powerful moment for me. But I know you as a Black woman can connect to it so much more and can speak so much more to that than I ever could. But I will say, you know, what I took from that scene too about what you were saying about Isaiah being like, no self-respecting Black man would want to take that either. I think, to me too, I think he just sees so much corruption with like the government, and he associates that shield with that too. And he just thinks, oh, like whoever holds that shield, kind of like you said, like with Walker, is going to be just an extension of the government and just an arm, and not have a moral compass pass with the government, you know, just kind of be the government's person. And I think it's powerful though, that even like you said, like that's not exactly easing Sam into this into this role, but we still see Sam practicing with the shield and really, I mean, you know, at the end of the episode kind of being like taken on that role. You know, I want to say about Sam, he's one of the best characters and really is so much like Steve, and he has such a good like read on people and such a good ability, like even like we saw with Carly last episode, like he can relate to what Carly's going through and what she's saying, but he can also be like, okay, but this is where your thinking's a little off. And the same thing kind of, I think he can take what Isaiah is saying, but then also think in his head, okay, this is what we can change about that. And like, this is how I can be Captain America. So I think he's good about that. He's good about kind of like taking what people say, but then also just thinking like having, I don't know, he's just good about having his own, I guess, like identity and being able to like really accept what people are saying, but also be like, okay, I can kind of see how to make this situation better or whatever. That probably don't make sense. But yeah, I think Sam's a great character. They played him so well this whole entire season. I've really enjoyed him.
Yeah, they had him grow. Like the growth, both he and Bucky, like the growth that they've had in these last 5 episodes, just from the end of the MCU series, the movie series, it's just, you know, you knew Sam, like you knew him as a Falcon. He showed up in the movies, but you didn't really know him. You didn't really know why he and Steve Rogers connected the way that they did beyond, you know, you saw the scenes that he was in, but I feel like this series has really kind of given us insight into Bucky and Sam. And I know Christina said it earlier that she's really feeling Bucky now. Like I feel them both. Like every episode I grow more and more fond of Bucky and Sam as individuals and as, you know, Avengers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I always enjoyed both of them. But I feel like, Connor, that was a long time, sir, to watch that insane. Like 20 minutes later.
You probably had to find it because I had to like rewind it to find it. So I was like, wait, I'm at 30 seconds left and I still haven't seen the end scene. So
yeah.
You missed it.
But yeah, I've grown to love both of them so much. And, you know, I feel like Sam, especially for me, has grown. I mean, Bucky, we've seen some, but I feel like with Sam, it's just so much, and they did a good job with him. I want to read some comments really quick before we kind of move on to our next one. So the first one was one Tim had said, and this is one that we have talked about before on here, but he said, Isaiah's grandson is also in comic book canon, eventually a member of the next Avengers Young Squad. If nothing else, it would be cool to see Sam take him under his wing, literally. Which, I mean, he got rid of his wings. He don't have his, which I'm kind of sad about. I thought those wings were so
box that you guys were talking about. What's in that box? The box at the end that Bucky brings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I was like, what box?
Yes.
I thought there were more wings in that box. So there weren't wings.
Oh, no, I don't think there's wings. I mean, I don't know.
They didn't open the box.
No, they haven't. That was like the last scene, right? Like he was going to open it, right? Like the last scene that he had the box in front of him again. So whatever it is, like, I'm like, is it a suit? Are we getting it was something from Wakanda.
That's why I thought it was like better wings because you remember John Walker broke his wings.
Yeah, but he didn't seem like he wanted them back either, which I was kind of sad about because I like the wings. I think the wings are real cool, but you know, I think you can still be Captain America and have some wings, which kind of brings me to Christina's point about she wants Sam to be. She don't think Sam needs to be like Captain America. He needs to be reimagined, rebrand. Captain America to fit him and what he stands for, which I would love to see them do, kind of keep some of the Captain America feel for it, but like also do a rebranding.
I could definitely see that. Like, I actually don't have an issue with that either. Like, I really think, you know, to end Captain America, like the good Captain America with Steve Rogers, and to bring Sam on as the next generation, not as, you know, somebody who's just stepping into Steve's shoes and taking over his role, but somebody who is just stepping in to be that what America needs, like that hero, that good image for the country, that person that shows that embodies the goodness. I think that is what is needed more so than just kind of the label. And I think it's more, I'm looking now kind of more towards as the whole picture, the ideals behind what Captain America stands for versus just Captain America himself in the title.
Yes. Which, I mean, I pulled up April's comment. I have some more comments I want to go through. She said that she loves when his nephews call him Uncle Sam. And kind of like, and that got me this episode too, because it really like, and maybe they have called him Uncle Sam before, and I'm just like it didn't hit me. But when they did it this episode, you know, they said it together, and it really hit me, and I was like, oh, Uncle Sam, that's like a cute little. They got that in there. They knew they were going to use that.
The first time that we see the nephews, when they like episode 1 or 2, when he goes back home for the first time. That's what his nephews call him.
Yeah. It probably just, I don't know, I guess it hit me more this episode and it just stuck out to me and I was like, oh. April also said she agrees that after John Walker, he doesn't need to be the traditional Cap, but the same spirit as Steve Rogers, like be America's hero. Yeah, and Katie said Sam getting to be more than a side character is so refreshing. I've really enjoyed seeing him develop. And he has a really good, like, strong character, and they've done a really good job. I mean, I could watch him and Bucky all the time. I really could. I mean, this could go on. Oh, and Tim says that Sam is not done with the wings. Tim is a little spoilers person. He likes to kind of look up some comic, but he knows he likes to look up some comic book stuff. but I hope not, because I love those wings, and I'd also like to see the shield and the like, kind of both. I love it. I love it.
I don't think he's done with the wings. I think he was done with those wings.
Wings
that John Walker broke. Like, he's like, I don't want any repaired wings. Like, I don't need that. So I think whatever is in that box, that's what I assume was in the box. It came from Wakanda, so it's gonna be like bad AF. Which I was actually very surprised that they said the A word on Disney Plus. Like, did anybody else peep that? Like, when Sarah was talking and she was like, what did she say? I don't know. She said something, but she said ASS. I was like, that's on Disney Plus.
Oh. No, did they not already cuss earlier in this series?
I must have missed it. But this one, it was like, I mean, I guess you hear like a hell or a damn, but like those to me at this point aren't really curse words. They're just like, okay. But this was like a really, like, this was like a, so we don't say that kind of word.
Oh, and welcome, Kat. I'm glad you're finally caught up so you can come and join our live. I want to mention really quick while we have Sarah brought up. First off, loved having Sam back with his family. I thought that was really sweet. I loved it so much. And I will say too.
Are you gonna talk about it? Are you gonna say it?
I don't know if we're on the same thing. I like Sarah and Bucky together. I thought I was like, oh my God, they're a little flirty right now. Like, Sarah was giving him some eyes. She was giving him a look.
Like, Sam's gonna flip.
He did. He said that he would like chop him up if he would. And I mean, no, I thought that was great because he hopped on the boat and I'm like, ooh, Sarah's giving him some eyes right now, which I mean, you can't blame the girl.
Like when he first started flirting with her and he was like, hey, I'm Bucky. I thought she was going to give him like that, like that dude, like seriously, like, nah, bro. And she was like, oh, hey.
I know. And then even Sam saying that comment and like catching on to it about like, if you flirt with my sister, I loved it. And I can definitely see like, if this is like going forward, if we're getting more, like, I'm hoping like Bucky needs, I'm not saying right now, but Bucky, he needs him a girl in his life, baby. And Sarah could be that. I don't know, but
I don't know if he's ready for all that though. I don't know.
No, not right now. I think
like a lot of women. I don't think he's ready for all that.
Yeah, I do. I think what I will say, I think like obviously next episode, I don't want him and Sarah together next episode. Don't think they're going to try to get them together next episode. Like, don't see that happening. But I could see if this turns into like another season, and either like if we have a tiny time jump where Bucky has done some more of his amends, like kind of what him and Sam talked about this episode, that I could see him and Sarah happening. I feel like amends definitely have to happen first. Yeah, but Katie, Sarah's got her eyes, and Christina thinks Sarah is the big bad. What? I'm confused.
Goodness. Sharon. She said, "What's the other lady?" Sharon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not Sarah. It's the big bad. No, let me clarify, Christina. I do not want Bucky with Sharon. I do not. It is Sarah, Sam's sister. I don't want Bucky and Sharon together. I really was scared that was the route they were going to go. I saw them together in the promo and I'm like, no, my body instantly rejected it. I was like, no. They could have maybe made it where I liked it, but no. But okay, talking really briefly, you had already mentioned it, as Jean Claire, about how we had some more people come back this episode. Obviously, like Sharon, we saw come back, which we'll talk about in 1 second. But while we're talking about Bucky making amends, I was really thinking, I was like, we're not going to see that old man again, which was kind of making me mad because I was like, this is like WandaVision again, where they have all these characters in the beginning and then you never see them again. But then like right after I thought that, like 2 minutes later, we have Sam saying like, he said it was like, you can give them closure. Like, go get, like, you're making it about you right now. You're making it like, oh, I'm sorry, so you can feel better. But, like, you have to do something for them. Like, you have to give them something. And when as soon as he said, you can give them closure, I was like, oh, no.
He said that, I was like, he's going to go and tell the old guy, and it's going to be something where it's going to hurt the old guy. It's going to destroy their relationship, but it's going to give him closure, and it's not something that's going to feel good for Bucky. That's how you make amends. Like, you really have to put yourself out there, and it's going to hurt him to have to actually relive that and say it out loud, because I don't think he's actually really said it out loud, like what he's done. He kind of skirts around it in therapy. He doesn't really talk about it. So to have to actually go to somebody and say, this is what I did, this is the role that I played, and I'm going to be curious to see if they do have that conversation, if they actually make it such that he is giving a real sincere account and taking accountability for what he did, as opposed to trying to be like, but I was under mind control. It's like, no, I just, this is what happened to your son. It was my fault. And that's that.
Yeah. I mean, in my like perfect dream world, I would love for Bucky to say this and then the little old man to come around, but that's just not realistic. I mean, unfortunately it was his son that got killed, but I do think it's one of those things, like Bucky has tried. I feel like he's really tried to make amends, but then again, he I think was in so much pain about Steve, and you actually mentioned it on either, I feel like it was episode 1. I had you on, not to get super dark, but you mentioned it. You're like, Bucky's like kind of on the edge right now. Like, he don't have much to live for. I feel like if he didn't have this like amends list, I mean, he would probably just be done at that point, and not, he doesn't have much to live for. And he finds this man who is on his list and is being kind to him, and really, probably the only person. I mean, it's just, he has someone finally. And I just think he's trying to still make amends and just put off this man, because he knows as soon as he says it, it's over and it's going to hurt. And he is trying to avoid that. But I do think that's what he needs. And I think, well, like he said too, it's not even about what he needs. Like Sam said, it's about, if you're really wanting to make amends, it's about sucking it up and doing what the other person needs. Because that's the only way, the only way you can kind of do that.
He's in the dark. He's in the loss. Like, that's the thing that you see that keeps him up at night, is the not knowing what happened to his son.
Yeah.
Because the lines that he's been fed, he's clearly like, no.
Yeah.
Not mine.
We'll see how it turns out. I really want to quickly do a few comments, and then I know there's so much in this episode. Okay, really quick. Katie says she ships Sarah and Bucky, and I do too. But okay, this is the comment I read, and I'm like kind of confused. I'm thinking we're talking about Sharon in this comment. Tim says that's Madam Hydra. She'll probably be a major player in Phase 4 now that the cat's out of the bag, but I doubt she'll make much of an impact in our final episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Is that right? Wait. Is it Sharon? Or are you talking about Sharon, Tim? Because that's what I got from this. Because if you're talking about she's like Madam Hydra, I'm going to like lose my mind. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is so sad for Peggy and that whole legacy there, if that's kind of where we're at. Is that who we're talking about? Oh, no. Okay, I'm wrong. He was talking about Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Is she the woman that came and talked to Walker, I guess? Okay, sorry. I was thinking Sharon. We keep jumping people, I think. Yeah, she, I guess she's Madam Hydra, which makes so much more sense than Sharon. I do still think Sharon's up to something. I don't know if she's the power broker. I feel like she's up to something, because I was telling Jean Claire before this started, I'm like, I wanted to go back and rewatch the Sharon scene so bad, because she was talking to Baltrock before, and then Baltrock is the one talking to Carly at the end, and like wanting to kill Sam. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, what is going on? I'm so confused. But yeah. Oh, okay. Morgan says she came in late. Did you already cover the Zemo and Bucky standoff? And no, we did not. I thought he was gonna kill him. I was thinking about him like we gotta work our way over to Zemo because he's our next character. We have so many characters. Like
there's a lot.
I'm trying. Yeah, there's a lot. We're trying to keep it to an hour, and I'm like we got so many things to talk about. Yes. Oh my gosh, I really thought he was gonna kill Zemo, and I was like sad.
I actually didn't.
I did. I thought he would.
Didn't. Surprisingly, there was nothing about that scene. I didn't know that it would end the way that it did with the Wakanda guard coming, but I definitely didn't think that Bucky was going to kill Zemo.
I like it because he's still alive. Yeah, I like that he's still alive though because it brings an opportunity for him to come back in the future for one. But I thought that was a very I loved how they did that whole scene. I loved they make it look like he's gonna shoot him, and I mean I feel like Zemo took it pretty he was pretty cool about it. He was kind of chill, which I feel like that man too. He's lost so much. I feel like he's kind of whatever about life, but I loved the Wakandans coming and taking him because obviously he killed their king, and that's good that they came and took him, and that was kind of an end of that, a little bit of a tie-in for that. But I loved that part where Zemo told Bucky because he stole Bucky's notebook. Yeah. Earlier 2 episodes ago, and he says I crossed my name off your list. He's like whatever you think, he's like it's good, we're done, I crossed my name off your list. And I just love that part. I thought that was a good.
Did he call the Wakandan guard to come in? Did he turn himself in? Because I don't think so. I took it to mean when he said that you don't have to come and avenge for me because I've done it for myself. Because right after he says that, the guard shows up. So I was like, did he turn? And he went so freely. So I was like, did he turn himself in? Or
I don't know. I
don't know.
Yeah. I didn't take it so much that way, which let me kind of see if anyone else in the comment wise. But Katie says she was surprised Zemo basically surrendered himself to Wakanda. Tim says, I was surprised that Zemo turned out to be so strangely helpful and not at all antagonistic. I liked Zemo in this series. I mean, I'm sorry. Devil's advocate here. I love Zemo this series. I loved him. I thought he was a great addition. Obviously, he's done some things in the past, and I can't remember them all. He's not a good guy. He deserved what he got with Wakanda. He deserved to be locked up, but he was a great addition to this series. Let me tell you.
It takes me back to to Wanda and her brother. He wasn't a good guy for what he did, but it was hard to not empathize with him because of why he did it. It was kind of the same with Wanda and her brother. You weren't rooting for them initially because they were with Hydra, but you kind of understood why they were so against the Tony Stark and the Avengers. So this is what I was saying in our group chat when I said, this episode had me all around in my emotions. You feel for the good guys, you feel for the bad guys. You just don't know, you don't know how you feel. You're it's all mixed up inside because there was even a sliver of a moment, not a lot. But when John Walker's wife was sitting in that courtroom and they had just told him they were taking, we're letting you go. We're not going to put you in jail basically, but you're leaving with nothing. You're going to get less than honorable discharge. You're not getting any benefits. And you could see him thinking in his mind, I've done everything you made me do this. You asked for this. You put me in this position. Yeah. You wanted this. I did everything you asked of me, but now when the cards are on the table and it looks bad, you're nope, we're done. Yeah. And in that moment, in that one little millisecond of a moment, I definitely felt the humanity like a little bit, a sliver of humanity for him, and then I remembered how crazy he actually was.
Yeah. Well, I always have like an issue, which I mean, I don't know. I know some of you know this. I love like writing, and I write like free on my time. I love writing, and I always have an issue of making my bad guy too good at the end of the day. I always look for the good, like I just make them too good. I look for the good qualities, and there's been moments in this show where I've seen, like, not that I have not liked John Walker. I think there was one episode where we were all like, oh, we were kind of like, okay. And then he was like, nope, we're pretty much done with him. But like last episode when Lamar got killed, you know, obviously they went through tours together. They were best friends. And he had that moment too in the beginning of this episode where I did feel a little bit for him, where he was thinking back to all the things Lamar said. And he was like, why didn't I listen to you? Why didn't I like that? I felt for him. But then like, I think the serum, you know, taking that serum was a terrible, terrible idea, because any like shred of sanity that man had, that serum, you know, kind of like with Red Skull, like we said, you know, from the original Captain America movie, it just amplifies everything bad. If you're bad, like whatever you got, any like, you know, quality you have there, it's going to amplify it. So
that's what Lamar told him. He said like the serum basically amplifies who you really are.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think John Walker in his mind really believed that he was as bad as he was. Like,
yeah.
But he was so arrogant the whole time about being Captain America. It was just kind of like, you have to see, like, you can't be that, you can't have that level of arrogance and be Captain America.
Yes. Okay, really quickly to go through some of these comments, and then we'll go on to our next one. Kat, I will definitely have to have you on sometime, girl. Unfortunately, this show is just so quickly to be over, but I will still be having Marvel chats, and you just let me know whenever you want to come on, and you're free to come on. 100%. Morgan says she thinks Zemo knew he was going back, and I think he knew it was his time to go back, but I felt him saying that he crossed his name off is like him admitting he no longer has control over him. And then Tim says you have to admire Zemo's conviction. He's never angry, but neither is he often apologetic. He's a bad guy, but he's a very logical and empathetic one. I don't know. I still think for Zemo, Zemo's dancing was iconic. Okay. Let's just let that Zemo, like, I just love it. It was iconic. His coat, man, that boy, that Baron had fashion. Liked him a lot for that.
The video of him dancing, but the song playing in the background was Agatha all along. You got to see that one. You got to see that one.
Oh gosh. But I really, what I took for that scene though, I know we kind of already talked about it. I took him saying he crossed his name. I wish I remembered the exact wording. He's like, I crossed my name off your list. And he said, I don't know if he said we're good now, or he's like, you don't have to worry about me, something like that. But I just took it as him saying like, I feel like I don't know. Again, I feel like I'll understand the show more in depth when I go back and rewatch every movie. Because I'm still like, my brain is still trying to process every movie I've seen. But to me, I almost took it as like he was trying to track down the serum, and he destroyed the serum. He destroyed it, you know, in that episode, a few episodes back. And I feel like for him, I think he was like, okay, I'm cool. I can go back to jail now. Like I'm fine with that having been my moment in the sun. I got to do some dancing. I got to wear a nice jacket. I got to destroy some serum. I'm good to go back now. And he was, I don't know, but I did love him crossing his name off. And that was a good moment for me. So yes. Okay. Moving on. I really like, and if I'm missing anything in John and Claire, you let me know, because I'm trying to look at my notes, but I totally could.
I'm actually reading through the comments to see if there's anything in here helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot in here helpful, guys. So I don't take it that way.
I had a little funny note, which this isn't even like he probably was throwing it harder, but it was funny to me when Sam and Bucky were like doing their little like talk with the shield, and they were like throwing the shield back and forth. They kept catching it like perfect. They never dropped it. And then Sam 2 minutes later is doing a training montage, and he can't catch that shield to save his life. And I'm like, you were just catching it like a pro like 2 seconds ago. That kind of just, it cracked me up. Connor says, if Carol Baskin was able to be on Dancing with the Stars, why can't we get Zebo next season? Oh, Kat said, did you see my comment? Okay, she says the creepy recreation of Tony in the cave scene was interesting and chilling. Tony in the cave. Tony in the cave. All I can think of. You're talking about the first one? All I can think of was Tony in the cave.
When Bucky and Steve was fighting Iron Man.
Well, I was thinking of the scene like when spoiler, which I feel like no one it was only me that was behind. But that scene like where Bucky and Bucky and Steve were fighting Tony, and that I don't know if it was even a cave though. They were fighting Tony, and Tony was like, my father made that shield and you don't deserve it, or something like that. Like that, is that what you're talking about?
I kind of thought about that a little bit in that beginning fight when Sam and Bucky were fighting.
I did think about that fight. She said no, it's the end credits for the episode. Okay, so kind of going to the end credits, that was, which Connor should know now because he took 20 minutes to go watch it. So yeah, it was Walker making his own shield, and
yeah, when I saw that, I was like, he is crazy. He said, I am Captain America in that fight scene, and he means it. Like, I am going to be Captain America, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was some real stalker stuff.
I mean, I didn't ever expect him. Like, I would have been very shocked if that scene where he went and talked to Lamar's family was the last time we saw him. I would have been very shocked. But one of the reasons I think this will be at least 2 seasons or will go into something else is, obviously the Lady Hydra talking to him. That has got to go somewhere.
Yes.
He'll probably end up joining Hydra.
On that. And they can't end it on the end of him looking like he's in some tunnel of a basement, like all like Hannibal Lecter-ish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew as soon as like Lamar's family were like, oh, like Lamar would have some peace knowing that like his killer was dead. And I mean, obviously his killer's not dead because Carly.
I was gonna say, that's what I remember. I was like, and I feel like in why am I about to call Christina Carol? Sorry, Christina. Carol that Lamar's sister wasn't buying John Walker. And the whole time he was talking to the parents, I felt like the parents were buying it, but I'm like, the sister was like, I've seen the internet. Like, I ain't buying it. You didn't kill my brother's killer. You killed somebody. But that way, like, if it helps you sleep at night to say that, that's the person who killed my brother and that's why you did what you did, then okay, we'll go with that. But nah, dude, I'm not buying it. Like her whole expression that whole time was like,
Connor, John Walker's giving April, Thrifty Nerdy Mom, some competition for Disney. April, start building your DIY shield. We want to see a comparison.
Break out the full torch, April.
I think Connor mentioned Carol Baskin, and she's got Carol Baskin on her front. Oh, yes. What else was I gonna say?
Go ahead. His first suit in the cave. That's what Katie said. That's
yes. Yeah. I showed the comment, but we were talking. Yeah, which look, okay, I know you guys do not like Tony. I know there are some Tony haters in this world. Do not compare Tony Stark to John Walker. It's not okay. I don't think my heart could take it if that. Okay, but anyways, we won't get into that. I feel like some people would argue that he's close to the same level, and I just don't want to go there. Okay, I'm interested though to see how we go. I think you see the comments faster than I do, so I don't even want to know. What? Oh.
You see the comment? He has John Walker quote.
Oh no, I haven't seen this.
Okay, it says, if you're interested in more Disney DIY, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell.
Oh,
Thanks,
wow. Okay, April says she could build a way better shield, which I totally believe, girl. You can give John Walker a run for. You need to do, I swear that needs to be a video. Me versus John Walker. Who can build the better Captain America shield?
Oh my God.
Kat's just on it, catching these things. She says they set up the sound of the hammer and the sparks just like from Iron Man movie, so they were trying to show a parallel between the two. Okay. I have a soft spot for Tony Stark, if you are not aware. John Claire is coming up in a video.
If that's the parallel that they're setting up, are they putting John Walker on a path to become a good guy? Because that's what happened to Tony, right? He was this arrogant tycoon who got trapped, who was like this like literal genius who gets trapped in a cave due to his own explosives being sold on the black market. And he builds his way out. So is that what, is that the parallel? Because if that is the parallel, because after that he becomes Iron Man and starts doing all of these good things. And
I don't think it's a parallel. What is it in literature? And I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like an antithesis. I feel like it's almost like an ironic one. I don't think it will set him up to be a good guy at all. But I mean, because Tony Stark made that to help him out, which, okay, look, I love Tony in that first movie. Okay. I thought that was his best movie. And him and that little science guy or whoever, I can't remember, the guy who helps him in the cave. I loved them together. They were a good little duo. Anyways, we won't go on the Iron Man train because we got to keep to an hour. Okay. Go ahead.
Jake, I'm glad you're here because it's about to be out for you.
I was literally thinking just a second ago, I'm like, you know what? This might be the first chat where Jake has not been on in like a long time. And I was kind of missing you. So I'm happy you got to make it on. And he says April is better than Walker, which totally agree. Tim says Walker lied to Battlestar's family to offset his own guilt, but now the issue is that he's so far gone that he started to believe his own false narrative. Yeah, I do agree. I think he 100%. I wouldn't even say he has guilt about doing. I don't think he has any guilt about doing that. I think he has. What I think he has guilt about. I think he has guilt about not listening to Lamar. And then feeling like maybe he's slightly responsible for Lamar's death. I can see that guilt there. But I definitely, in his brain, I think he saw all those flag smashers, whoever was with Carly, they're all one and the same. Like Carly accidentally killing Lamar, like whoever, she's associated with flag smashers, she's their leader. So, all of them are like the same, I think, in his eyes. So, yeah. Kat also said too, she meant something else, not the parallel. Yeah, I think there is like a word. I know what you're talking about, Kat. I think it's just like it kind of like, you know how it is. There's like I just say irony, like with it. It's very similar. Christina, glad you like Tony too. Well, yeah, you better be fine. I'm joking. Thank you for coming. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I just want to see April with a bedazzled shield now. Thank you, Kat. Okay.
I can't unsee that now.
No. Okay. So the last thing, well, there's two things I want to kind of talk about. And then Jean Claire, if I missed anything, let me know. If I missed something in the comments, let me know. But one thing I wanted to talk about really quickly is the whole New York setup, which I was like, oh, we're getting ready for a fight. Because, Sam gets the notification like that they've pinged in New York. He's watching on TV. He's like, oh, yeah, this isn't a mistake. Like,
I'm on it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like that scene too, they ended it perfectly with like the lights going and turning red. And I'm like, oh, it's about to start. We're going to jump right into it. Sam, they cut scene right before Sam called Bucky. He's like, I know where they are. We're going. You know, he's calling him his boy.
Honestly, like I had like it was like my Rocky Balboa moment for Sam when he was like going through his training and like, that final moment when he's like, I finally caught the shield. It's like reminds me when like Rocky actually caught the chicken. I was like, he's ready. Like it's on.
Yeah.
Ready.
I know. I'm excited to see all what's going to go down next episode. So Jake says he thinks that Walker is going to die next episode. I don't think he will. And I'll tell you why is because the Hydra woman. I think she's got to come. They're going to have to come around somehow. And I don't think that will happen next episode.
I really want to know, like, I think the question that's still in my mind is like, what is Sharon up to? Like,
I had that note too.
He's like the Agatha of like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? It's like,
yes.
What's her role? Like, is she good? Is she not good? Is she a double agent? Is she a triple agent? Like, is she playing us? Like, what is her role?
Yeah, instead of hashtag bad rabbits, we need to do hashtag bad Sharon. That'll be our finale hashtag.
Morgan had a hashtag for what's in the box, so.
Oh, wait. She had, hashtag what's in the box. Which was another, I have no idea. I think, Jean-Claire, you said you think it's new wings for Sam.
I think it's something that's going to help him be America's hero in whatever form. And I don't know if Devontae is still in here, but we didn't acknowledge her. So I'm really sorry about that, Devontae. She was here earlier. And she
Oh yeah, she did. I'm sorry. There were a lot of comments.
I know. I was like, I think we acknowledged everybody else, but I wanted to make sure like we acknowledged her comment. Like I did.
Yeah. Okay. I will give you the duty of finding the comment because we've only got like 4 minutes.
Yeah. She was just saying that whoever wields the shield righteously is Captain America, be they male or female. At least that's how it works in the comics and should also in live action. And I think what we were saying was just that, you know, we kind of think that the role of Captain America kind of just needs to evolve beyond the title of Captain. Like Steve Rogers is Captain America, and the idea and the concept of it survives, but not necessarily specifically Captain America.
Christina says, well, she asked Jake, but we're going to answer. Do you think Bucky is going to relapse and kill John Walker? I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but I don't want Bucky to relapse.
I don't think he needs to relapse to do that.
I don't think he does. I mean, he had that moment where he says there's still like Winter Soldier in me. But I don't want Bucky to relapse. And I think after all we went through this season, I do not need him to relapse. It just does not need to happen. He needs to keep going on his trail. April has a good hashtag too. Go ahead.
Totally bad that he has some Winter Soldier left in.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is whether or not he controls the Winter Soldier or his Winter Soldier is controlled by somebody else. And I think as long as he's in control of it, he's good.
Okay, really quick. We're gonna read a few comments and then we'll kind of end it because I know we're getting close. April has the comment, sneaky Sharon. I like that comment a lot, hashtag a lot. She says the subtitles revealed that she was talking to George on the phone. I thought she called him Baltrock. And maybe I'm crazy. But who's George?
Who's George?
Also, Jake said that he couldn't handle Sharon being the power broker. I feel like she is, though, man. I'm sorry. Connor made me cackle with this one. Elaine had a tough time after Seinfeld. Joining Hydra was the most logical next move.
And it's funny because I started watching that part on my phone and I was dealing with Zoel, so I didn't actually see, I heard it, but I didn't see who she was. So now I have to go back and watch. I didn't realize that was Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes. And then, of course, we have some more appreciations for the training scene. Oh, April says the guy that said he wanted to kill the Falcon. Yeah, his last name must be Baltrock or something, or his
maybe that's his. Yeah,
so she was talking to him, and I'm like, I think Sharon's a bad egg, you guys.
You're talking to somebody who wants to kill the Falcon. Like, were you setting them up this whole time? Like, what's the deal?
It could be like the biggest, like, little. It could be another WandaVision situation where literally they're like planting the seed, like, oh, it's Wanda. Like, Wanda's the bad in this, but then it's like really not. It could be one of those situations where they're like making it seem like Sharon's the big bad, and
or it
like,
could be
not the big bad, but you know,
coordinating this with Sam and so it's like she's pulling another card, because Sam and Bucky have not been shy about pulling out favors on this series.
No, I definitely could see it going either way. I could see her being like a, you know, like a kind of like a red herring there, and her actually being good. And I could also see her being a baddie, which I mean would be a very interesting.
I mean, she's she's an ex agent who is doing extremely well financially. You don't do that financially as a good guy without a few tricks up your sleeve.
Yes. Yeah. Everyone's just still talking about that scene. And I loved, like we already said, I loved that training scene. Overall, I think I want to say it was Tim said that this was his favorite episode. Jean-Claire, where do you think this one ranks for you?
All I know is in my notes, I have like, Sam is young.
I think Sam and Bucky are both yum, and I think Sarah would agree with me on that second one.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sam's training scene aside, I mean, that would like make this episode like number one for me. But I really do feel like they brought a lot of open points to it. Like they brought it all together. I don't think they brought anything to a close, but they kind of like started tying it all together.
I mean, even with like Bucky having his like reckoning with the old man, they've already kind of set that up. And that's, I mean, I was shocked they even did that, because that could have totally been something that they just kind of pushed in there, but they really set it up where I thought that was such a well done moment where Sam was, you know, we already kind of talked about it, so I won't reiterate all of it, but, you know, with him saying like, you've been doing this for you got it, to make amends, you got to do it for other people. So I thought that was great. So I'll go ahead and in this chat here, we can keep going. I know I thought this was such a good episode, and it was up there for me for sure. Jake liked Wyatt Russell's acting was impressive. I mean, I'm so proud. I love Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. So I just always see him on screen. I'm like, go Wyatt Russell for getting a role that's like in a Marvel show. I mean, I don't like him, but you know, I feel bad though for actors who get roles like this. Yeah.
But he plays it well because like you believe like he is that character, right? Like, but it's unfortunate because you also believe he is that character. And sometimes when you get into a character and you do it so well, it's hard to like ever be anything other than that particular character.
Yeah. I want to end on this really quickly. I used to watch like One Tree Hill, which I feel like it was filmed near you, Jean-Claire. It was filmed in Charleston or near Charleston. Yeah, it was. But anyways, there was a guy on that show, and I remember I saw an interview one time, and he played like a bad guy. Everyone hated him. He would get drinks thrown at him in public and all this stuff, and everyone on the cast was like, he's like the nicest guy though. But he plays such a jerk on TV, and people just don't know how to like separate that. So that's like kind of the sucky thing.
And it's actually scary because he's been getting like real death threats.
That's what Morgan just said. Why he's been getting death threats, which is totally not cool. I mean, he's playing a role.
They're actors, like they're getting paid for this. Like when he goes home, he's not Captain America. He's not John Walker.
He's probably a nice dude. He's probably totally a nice dude. Yes. Yeah, Bucky making amends with the old man will keep her going until Loki. I'm going to try to read these really quick and then we'll go. Jake says, I'm truly beautiful, which I appreciate because I don't feel it right now. And Jean-Claire, he always loves seeing you on here. So yes. So Katie said, Tim lost connection, but he wants everyone to know that Sharon has been through a lot and deserves some credit.
I'm giving her credit. Like if she's got the life that she wants now, she is living her best life. But I'm just trying to figure out what her deal is.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't know how all that's going to turn out. But thank you guys so much for coming. Ajanika, really quickly, if you want to mention, what do you have coming up on your channel, which is linked in my description. I feel like all you already follow her, but what do you have coming up?
Well, right now we just crossed 500 subscribers, so I have a giveaway going on. It closes on Friday, so if you haven't entered, enter the giveaway.
dead right I'm sorry.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And Chanticleer was like, when are you going to post it? I was like, oh, I'm busy right now. In reality, I took up from it now.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I have a feeling like Jake was in the middle of like a 3-point shot when he got the notification. And like his homeboys are like, dude, where you going? He's like, I gotta go.
He's like, okay, this has gotta be it. Oh gosh.
Yeah, so we're doing a giveaway. It ends on Friday. So I did it as a short. So I tried something different this time. Instead of doing like an actual like video talking about the giveaway, I did it as a YouTube short. So I announced the giveaway in a YouTube short, and all week I'll be running new shorts every day for bonus entries, and we're giving away a Frozen 2 collector's box.
Oh, that is so much fun. Is it from the movie, the Disney movie club? Is it from them?
Club box. I did the unboxing like a couple of months ago to show.
I've seen that. It was so cool. I've seen that, which is why I was like, I believe that's the same box. But thank you so much for joining me. I will promise to be better. Now, we are doing our group live chat next Friday, and I will talk to everyone, get the time set, and I will schedule it today or tomorrow. It will be scheduled in advance. Jake, you will know the time. So no worries, you will know the time. But thank you all for coming and chatting. This has been one of the best chats for real, and we had so much to cover. And again, thank you, Chanticleer, and we will see you next week for the finale, which is